Namo Adidafa. Thanks so much for joining me for our daily practice check-in. Listen, listen, listen. This wonderful sound calls us back to our true home. The first mindfulness training. Aware of the suffering caused by the destruction of life, I vow to cultivate compassion, learn ways to protect the lives of people, animals, plants, and minerals. I'm determined not to kill, not to let others kill, and not to condone any act of killing in the world, in my thinking or in my way of life. For our Dharma lessons, we've been reading More Than Mindfulness, Widening the Field of Practice by the Monastics of the Thai Forest Sangha. We're continuing in a talk by Ajahn Jayasaro called The Paramis as Practices of Liberation. The next parami is wisdom, panya. Wisdom is considered to be the heart of the Buddhist path. There are different levels of wisdom. As a parami, the kind of wisdom emphasized is wise reflection, yoniso manasikara, which may be divided into two kinds. First is the reflection, the thinking which seeks to replace a negative mental state, an afflictive emotion, with a wholesome mental state. The second is the reflection on the way things are, specifically the three characteristics of impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and selflessness. This twofold division reflects the two approaches to meditation called samatha and vipassana. Samatha deals with craving and other unwholesome mental states. Vipassana deals with our ignorance of the way things are. An example of the first kind of wise reflection is one with which you may be familiar, reflecting in ways that encourage loving kindness and forgiveness to replace persistent negativity. Similarly, when sensual thoughts, memories, and perceptions completely obsess the mind, then we develop wise reflection on the unattractive nature of the body. There is no body, no matter how attractive, how beautiful, how handsome, whose body lacks non-beautiful or non-handsome features. Instead of allowing the mind to dwell or unrestrainedly on the beautiful, handsome, attractive features, we simply shift the focus and dwell upon one of the unattractive features. Reducing the power that attraction and aversion exert upon our mind is an important life skill. Another key reflection is on death, reflecting on the inevitability of death, the uncertainty as to when it will occur and how, counters heedlessness, laziness, and complacency. The second kind of wise reflection is based upon observing the way things are. In particular, looking again and again at the impermanent, uncertain nature of experience as it manifests in the five khandhas of body, perceptions, feelings, mental formations, and consciousness. We make consciousness the impermanence of every aspect of life, inner and outer. In daily life, we can use Ajahn Chah's teaching of Mine, continually bringing the mind back to the uncertainty and unreliability of all that occurs. The unsatisfactoriness of unenlightened existence might seem a rather grand philosophical position to take, but in daily life, we can investigate it in the simplest of ways. On public transport, for example, we may give ourselves the task of noticing the changes in posture of everybody around us. Nobody is still for more than a few seconds, and it's clear that almost every single movement that is made is an attempt to escape from discomfort. Reflecting on anatta means looking into causality. When we look closely, We see no owner of experience, no permanent independent entity controlling the show. What we see is this complex flow of causes and conditions. Being able to see things in terms of causes and conditions allows us to make wise choices. We can start to discriminate between those causes and conditions which are amenable to correction or to encouragement, and those causes and conditions which are outside of our control and which we need simply to accept. Lacking that wisdom, we may find ourselves accepting things which should be amended and trying to abandon things which should be accepted. It's through clear penetration and reflection on the causal nature of phenomena that we can respond appropriately and wisely to different situations. This is wisdom on that level of developing anicca sanya, the perception of impermanence, dukkha sanya, the perception of unsatisfactoriness, anatta sanya, the perception of non-self. These are creating habits and creating an affinity with, a familiarity with, the three characteristics. It will stand one in very good stead as the mind becomes more peaceful through meditation and can be turned to investigating the three characteristics on a non-verbal level. This is not vipassana in itself, but creates a pathway for it. It's creating a way into the non-verbal recognition, cognition of the three characteristics. May all beings be well. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. Namo Adida Phat. Thanks so much for joining me today.